You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of the group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Pace Radio Show. We are live here on the Pace Radio Network and cgbtv.com. I'm Al Graham, joining me as always, I got right with is Tamara Cartwright. How you doing, Tamara?
I'm good, Al. How are you doing tonight?
Well, hey, I'm better than I was late last week, but I'm still stuffed up here. You can probably hear it in my voice. So
yeah,
you know.
we the dreaded C.
Yeah, that's right. Late last week, I thought I had, I get a cold, I get a flu, whatever. I get sick every winter. Since I was 5, I was getting allergy shots, and always suffered colds, flus, whatever throughout the wintertime, all winter long. So as usual, here I thought was right on, cue. And I had to go today for my medical infusion. And part of the process to be able to do my medical infusion beforehand is to be able to answer a questionnaire. And if I answer yes to any of the questions, I have to call them. So I had to answer yes to one of the questions. So I called them. And so they requested that I do a COVID test, and as it turned out, I was positive. So,
oh wow!
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely not gone, and it's definitely not going anywhere. And it's unfortunate that it's still here. But I mean, we've got it's mutated, and even vaccinated. It's, like you said, there's no cure for the common cold. This isn't going anywhere.
Yeah,
they can't even cure the common cold.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah. Exactly. No cure for it, and it's there. So, but it'll pass. I'm not, as you can see, I'm here. Right, I'm doing the show.
Yes.
I'm not down and out.
Well, no, and you're already self-isolated. So.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm out here in the country, and that. So now I just know that I won't go into town to the weekend or before I test negative, and then once I test negative, then I can go in and get my treatment, because I couldn't get my treatment due to me testing positive. So that'll hold off. And they said, just as soon as you give us a call, we'll get you in. So next week sometime.
Oh, good. Good. I'm grateful that they aren't going to make you have to wait, because once you miss that appointment, sometimes it's not easy to get back in again. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And they don't like to miss out. And they like to hit at certain markers, right? And if it's delayed, that can make things worse. They have to reschedule you and sort of build you back up again. But it's the treatment that I'm on. So
I know I'm kind of panicked because I've been working. I got a new job, right?
Right.
So my job now is but I work from 9 to 5:30. Then tomorrow I'm working till 6 o'clock, which is Thursday night, right? Which is fine. But I have to get to my pharmacy because I need my meds for tomorrow night, and I haven't been able to get them either because I'm working during those hours. And my lunch, I do get a lunch break, but I've been having to pick Taven up from school and bring him home, so I don't really get a lunch break per se. So I'm a bit panicked, but the pharmacy opens at 9, and I don't have to work till 9:30 tomorrow morning. So I should be able to.
Hopefully you can get in.
So as long as his ADHD brain remembers.
Keep it straight, keep the squirrel away.
Right? So I have to set myself an Alexa reminder tomorrow morning at 10 to 9 to not forget to go to the damn pharmacy.
Correct. So how's the new job?
Overwhelming, honestly, because I thought it was going to be just in the hydroponics section. but they want you to know everything in that store before you get put into a specific department. So if you have to float, you know everything, right? So
Right.
I started yesterday in the garden center and home and gift, and I learned the till and stuff, which is a little more complicated because people have phone numbers, there's seniors discounts, and everything's in the system, so it's kept on an inventory swing.
Mhm.
So that's been interesting. Good thing I'm prolific with a computer, so I'm catching on to that fairly quickly. Today,
Good.
I think I moved 2 pallets of dog food because we also are a pet store too, right? We carry
Right.
everything but the animals. We have a tack room, we carry clothes, we carry everything, farm, garden, and pet, right?
Right.
So I packed dog food. We restocked the shelves twice a day because that's how busy it is. So
Yeah.
people coming in and they're buying big dogs bags. So we did that, and I learned to till, and I helped a guy with some knowledge about some cattle gavaging that I knew that the other two girls didn't know today because I've actually gavaged a calf before.
Oh, well, there you
So
go.
yeah,
See?
yeah. So my little bit of knowledge in a lot of things is not a bad thing, right? So yeah,
Right. Right. Now, just so everybody knows, where I am located here in Ontario, we are in a big storm, big snow dump here. Like we're getting 20 or 30
yeah. You keep
centimeters coming
cutting,
down.
kind of. Your Wi-Fi is kind of choppy every now and then. That's
Yeah.
okay. And then our
Okay.
guest is on the
Yeah.
West Coast, and it looks like our
Yeah.
guest is showing up because we thought
Yes,
she
they
might be a
have.
tad bit late.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So
that's good.
hopefully my power stays on, okay? Because it's really windy out there, and the power, who knows? You know,
Well,
if it
let's
goes
hope that
out
you
all of
guys
a
are
sudden,
safe.
we'll just disappear, okay?
Okay.
Well,
But
I'll
again, like
disappear.
the power's a thing, but I hope that everything that you guys are safe because I know you guys had a storm the one time that just tore you guys' place to
Oh yeah,
bits. So
yeah, yeah.
that was horrible. Like your whole
That
Quonset,
is.
everything was ripped apart and thrown all over
We're
the
still
yard. And
dealing we're still dealing with that. Still
yeah,
dealing
yeah,
with
I
it.
know. And then Debbie still skiffing too. Like even on the East Coast, like you know how I had 10 inches of water in my basement on Christmas Eve day. Well, so did they. So
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it just needs to be ongoing. Like we're all having some weird because it's supposed to drop down to minus 25 again this week. We're supposed to have the coldest
oh,
February ever, and it was like +5 yesterday out here, and it's supposed to drop down to minus 25 overnight. So the
oh.
fluctuation and it's just nuts. And I'm worried about the
So,
opening in my basement again because of pipes and
oh, you get it fixed.
yeah.
Oh, no. Okay. What do you say? Time to bring in our guests?
Yeah, and then we'll talk about the joint after our guest. We
Correct.
bring our guest
Exactly.
in.
Because we'll be 10 minutes talking about the joint. So I believe we should bring our guests in,
Yeah,
and then we'll get into the joint as well because I'm sure they're interested in knowing about this joint. So, all right.
yeah.
So you go ahead. You can introduce them.
So I'm very pleased to introduce Hayley Rose and her mom, Cheryl, because Cheryl's always in the forefront. And Ms.
Hi.
Hayley is joining us tonight. So we're very pleased to have you on the show, my girl. And we
Hello,
want to catch
ladies.
up. It's been a while since everybody's seen you. And you're on video and you're on Roku TV as well. So we wanted to see Hayley. So we're really happy to have you on the show.
Thank you. Can you hear her? Yeah.
And you guys can catch up. And yeah, we can hear her. And there's
Good.
Cheryl too. Say hi, Cheryl.
Hi.
So
How you doing?
We're okay.
Yeah, you're not getting any of this crappy. Well, actually, this winter I have heard about the West Coast getting snow. So
We had a bit, but didn't last long. Haley's hoping
okay.
there'll be more.
The snow is up and covered
You
half
guys-
the door.
did it?
It covered half the door. It was so
Did
deep
you go?
that
Did you get to go out and
you
touch
walk
it?
in it, you get buried in it.
Yeah, she liked the snow.
Yeah, halfway up the door, you get buried in it. You sure would.
You're walking right out it. You would have been.
Did you?
As you
Yeah.
can
So you
tell,
got to touch it.
her ketones are nice and high, and you can tell she's doing well just from.
Oh.
right
Oh,
now,
yeah.
so.
Yeah,
I went
exactly.
on the sky
Yeah.
train today, and it's been almost 4 years.
3.
Almost 3 years since I've been on the sky train, and I went on the SkyTrain today.
Nice.
And how
We're
was it?
trying to trigger seizures and see what her ability to withstand seizures right now is with the high ketones. So
And how did
tonight
she
we're
do?
going to watch a movie and try and trigger some.
I told her a Japanese animated one would work.
Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon, Card Captain.
Oh, you love Sailor Moon.
Matter.
Didn't you dress up as Sailor Moon for Halloween this year, Hayley? Or were you several things? Yeah, I
Right.
think I saw that pretty picture of you. You look beautiful.
Thanks. It took 3 or 5 days to dye my hair blonde. I'll come closer.
Let's
To get
see.
it this light.
Oh, wow, it is
Oh.
really light. Look at that. And look at how long your hair is. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, my hair goes all the way down to here without
Whoop.
when it's not in a braid. It goes all the way down
Wow.
to
Has
this
it never?
here.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's
Has it
long.
never been cut? Like, you know, I imagine some people would just clean up their heads, but being it's that
It
long,
hasn't been cut for at least 11 years now.
11 years.
It has been.
Has it been?
Yeah.
Has it been that long?
11 years growing my hair.
A long
Wow.
time.
Correct.
long time.
You should tell people how old you are now.
Well,
You should tell our audience how old you are.
I'm gonna be 30 years old when on the 11th of April.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're hitting.
And that is so fabulous.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Twice
So
her
for the-
lifetime from what they expected this April.
Yeah.
Well,
For the
we met
people-
her. It was 2012, right? She was just
Eight
14
was
or
when she started, and then we met
Right.
you guys just after that, and then
For
yes, because she was like
anybody-
14 or 15.
15.
Right? Yeah,
15.
15. So I've known you half your life then, Hayley.
for those for the viewers and listeners, because it goes out in the radio in a radio audience as well as video. Could we back things up a little bit and let some people know the story behind Hayley?
Well,
And-
Hayley
and-
has Lennox-Gastaut syndrome, which is a rare, severe form of childhood epilepsy. By the time she was 15 in January 6, 2008, I was told that there was nothing more that could be done. We had exhausted everything, and she had already had her last Christmas because it was now January, and she would not be here for the following one, to forget about school in September and to just enjoy the time I had with her left. And at the end of May, I took the law and the rules into my own hands, and I gave her medical cannabis. And right out within days of that, Michelle Rainey had contacted me, and we got and actually Hayley's first strain she tried was the Afghani Bull Rider, Michelle Rainey's strain. And within a few days, we met Dr. Paul Hornby, and within a day or two of that, the Haley's Comet showed up at his where he was working, and we've just been on it since then.
What?
And it's been a rough road. The cannabis made an incredible change for Hayley. Was still fighting catamenial seizures. And then throughout the years, over the last 15 years, because it is a deteriorating form of epilepsy where the prognosis is never good, and it just, seizures change, and they're relentless. They don't like medication and stuff. So cannabis has always stayed as a primary because it's the one that works well for rescue. It works well as a staple medication. When we've tried to take it away, we have more seizures, so it's not going anywhere. And then about 4 years ago, we started the medical, 4 years ago, we started the medical keto diet. And last couple of years in the summer, we've had the rough go. The glucose has a hard time staying up, and Hayley does really well when ketones are over 5, which is a blood ketone, and that is like crazy high for an adult. And but last year's ambulatory EEG, which is what she's wearing on her head right now and all wired up for.
Oh, okay. I thought she had a hat on.
No, they got a whole bunch of electrodes on her head. So today is day 2.
Yeah.
And last year's test that we did only showed one slow spike wave without formation in 3 days of an EEG because we had the ketones really high. If the downfall was the glucose issues, which is pretty much trying to make sure she doesn't become lethargic or slip into a diabetic type coma from low glucose. An example would be her glucose could range from 2.9 to like 3.3, right? And I mean, that's really low, but her ketones are up, right? So if it's over between 3 and 3.5 and her ketones are over 5, then she doesn't have any seizures.
So what would be considered normal, like for people? Like I don't know anything about
glucose,
so.
Like over 7 glucose.
Yeah.
Yeah. And ketones would be nothing for a normal person.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's 5.
So hers is lower than normal and lower than typically used, but there are some patients on medical keto that do have very low 3s for glucose and they're okay. So we're just trying to keep her stable with that. The hardest problem we have is if the glucose goes too low, then she's got medical issues and we have to increase it. And then we have issues with keeping the ketones up. And it's kind of a pain, but it works. And so today we did the Sky Train and she could hear a bit of sound, but it wasn't bad. And no seizure activity after that.
Out of 100, it would be a 99.
Yeah, so like a little bit
of hearing the Sky Train.
So that was good because we use music
headphones. Right. I was going to say, is she wearing her sound out headphones and stuff then?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. With they're actually I don't even know where they are.
They're right there, Mom.
Oh, they're I don't even know how to say the name, but they're Bose or something. These things. Best gift Hayley was ever given was these headphones right here. They're like $400 or $500 headphones, and they are awesome. So they are really awesome.
So is the sound a trigger?
So Hayley has from like if you were to open a plastic bag around her, that sound of plastic would cause a reflex seizure, and reflex seizures for Hayley mean all rescue meds on board, including midazolam, because they do not like to stop, and they won't stop until we give her a rescue meds. So sometimes cannabis is enough for them, but they're really, really bad. It could be even sweeping the floor could trigger it.
I can see why she's excited that being able to ride the Sky Train.
Oh yeah, because now we get to go back out and do more stuff this year.
Right. Now she can actually go out and do stuff. Because you guys have recently moved into a quieter area, a quieter place too, as well, right? So that's making quality of life.
I like it down here better because even though if I'm in the living room, which is close to a front door, I can't hear it in the rain in the living room or anywhere in the house. If the door's shut and the windows are closed, the only thing you can do about the rain is you can see it, but you can't hear it.
Oh, that's great. The rain trigger too.
Oh, rain's bad.
The last place, the rain you can hear so loud, and
the wind
and the wind will like do like when the wind makes a sound like kind of like a ghost sound, right? It was really loud like that, and that triggered a lot of seizures because it would rain a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
that's what
cars and stuff. So where we moved to, in the old place, we were near a street and we had some big windows, which seems great, except the sound. She couldn't even go into the living room without wearing headphones. It was so bad. Like, so she kind of lived in her room for a year and a half. Mostly, come out, have headphones. She'd have one on, one off, so she could watch TV with us. We did have a TV in her room as well.
One headphone off was for hearing what people or television were saying. The other headphone that was on is the one that's supposed to block sounds like the rain or wind, any kind of weather or cars or trucks or anything that has like a motor sound or a weather. The only weather that never did trigger seizure was snow
and sunshine
and cloudy sunny days, as long as there's no wind
and not too hot.
Yeah, and the only difference between the snow and the rain is that the rain you can hear loud, but the snow you could just see it go by and by.
She does have seizures from visual as well, but the sound ones, it's so oddly enough, it's easier to deal with visual ones than trying to eliminate sounds. Like so even running water, anything like that can be an issue.
You need headphones for water, laundry, washing machines.
Yeah. Unless we shut the door. So it's much better here. It's quieter. We went out in the yard. She didn't need double headphones. She was able to just have one pair, which is great because it's just
sometimes
double.
I don't need headphones.
Yeah, out here it's much nicer because she's got that.
You said double headphones. So
so
like or the orange ones that you put in
your ears?
In your ears,
earbuds.
right?
Okay.
The ones that are water kind, right?
Yeah.
Water kind, you put I put in my ears first, and then I put on
these. These are just regular 34 decibel soundproof ones. And so she would have the silicone ones that go inner, and then the other second set over top, just to deal with it. And that is not even as quiet as having music blasting. But we want to enjoy life, right?
It's still loud.
Right, yeah.
But down here, I don't need any of that. I don't even need headphones anymore to go to sleep with.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
before I had to sleep with headphones on. Every time there was a sound at night, I would have to wear these headphones. And if it's too loud of a sound, like when that sounds like goes
bad rain and stuff,
and that, then I have to wear these and the orange ones.
Yeah. So quality of life in this house, this house is way smaller, but quality of life way up. And that's what matters, right?
Yeah.
And smaller house. Hopefully, I don't know what you're living in before, but a smaller house sometimes can be easier to maintain.
Yeah,
that's what I said. Less house to clean.
Exactly.
Less house to clean.
And as
less places to hoard junk.
Well.
Yeah. I mean, last time I seen her, I've talked to you before, in the interim, but she wasn't even verbal. Like, she was having a hard time talking, and you were worried that she was losing her memory and the cognitive, everything. Now she's like, I remember from 11 years ago, I hadn't had a haircut. Like, right?
Yeah.
So her memory's pretty dang good. I think she can remember that 11-year-old haircut from 11 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I know, but it's been a rocky road. I know how hard it's been for you.
They
Oh, yeah.
they sent her home all those years ago, back in 2008.
Yeah.
And told you to say goodbye.
And now they can't.
And
Last
wow,
year's EEG blew them away. And I'm like, I'm sorry, we missed the Catamenial time. Catamenial time was last week. So they're like, that's okay. We want to see if we can repeat this. So they're going to find out tomorrow if these 3 days repeated, and it looks like it will be a good repeat. And to the point that they asked us to try to make her seize today, just so they could see it.
Because every
Oh,
other
yeah.
time they missed it.
Yeah.
Every other time they seem to miss it. And then either after I get out from them taking it off, that's when it has a seizure, or the next day I will have a seizure and it's already taken off. So sometimes I tell them, why don't you leave it on for at least try 4 days and then take it off, because apparently mostly it's when the next day. So I tell them instead of 3, do 4
Right.
instead, because maybe they might catch one.
Right.
Because if they keep on doing it
right,
this way,
yeah.
then they're never gonna catch it.
Well, you know that thing where you go for a test,
Right.
everything looks good, and then they stop the test, and now you have an issue.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
happened last
Oh,
year.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Or my thing is, I have an issue, and then I'll phone the doctor, and then the issue just stops. It's like my body saying, "No, I don't want to go to the doctor. Appointment's already made, buddy. You're going."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
And we're gonna start cannabis juicing, because the concern we have is, how do we get her body to remain stable with the glucose and the ketones at that? Because if she's extra active, ketones will burn more, and then glucose can drop more. And then if you have the glucose too long or it drops too low, you can end up with an opposite reaction, where then the body will kick in and the glucose will soar and the ketones will go down, and then you're just in like a nightmare, because now you've got seizures and you got to try and undo the whole mess. So we're aiming for stability. And if we can get the idea of the fresh juice cannabis is that it will help overall health, is what the goal is getting her body to like it, to be strong. Because we've seen the oh my gosh, what are they called? Endocrinologists. So we saw them at the hospital, and they don't know what to do. So they don't have any answers. So that was great. Dietitian contacted 400 doctors last year. Nobody knows. So we just kind of like, okay, let's try adding in the juicing. I mean,
apparently I'm a mystery to everyone.
you are.
well, yeah, you are. You
are.
are. You're a miracle, Hayley. You are a total miracle. And you know what? You get so many other kids that have the same kind of affliction as you, hope, and parents. You give parents hope, Cheryl, because we've got another one, coming up who's 6, so they're fighting like hell to keep her on, and just cannabis, and she's doing way better. But again,
Sophie.
like I said, this and then look at little Mandy McKnight's little guy Liam. Like you guys are miracles, and and your parents are like fighting for your lives, and this gives other parents and other kids hope, because you're not a kid anymore. We met you when you were a teenager, but you are now you're a woman. You're a woman. You're 30 years old, going to be 30 years old. Like you're as old as my oldest daughter too.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My daughter's a few years older than you, but
right. But I mean, like I said, like your mom has fought so hard to keep you ready and able to be, and look at you. You're beautiful. And you're still kicking, and you're going to be kicking for a lot longer. So we just want to see you keep on going.
Yeah, the doctors
You
are
give all of us
pretty
hope.
amazed. They're pretty amazed with the EEG, to the point that our old neurologist, who's retired and just kind of overlooks, jumped into the conversations for this year, because the EEG was something they've never seen. The cannabis is the only thing that's even come close. So between the cannabis and the diet are our main go-tos. They did check levels of other drugs. They were not, they were still same. Nothing changed on that. It's really the diet and the cannabis are the most impactful for her. And if the juicing, like I said, we're hoping that it'll just help make her body happy, help make it stronger, help make it want to work with the diet, which by effect will continue to keep seizures away. Because when that glucose or when those ketones drop below 5 in around the 4 or under range, we see seizures, guaranteed. So yeah, and I mean, they can be triggered, right? They can be triggered, but we're going to see how much we can push it. So
So this keto diet is like, it's fairly strict, right? Like you have, and it's fairly expensive to keep it.
Ridiculous. It's not even like, it's not like the diets that people talk about for losing weight. It's not even like the basic keto diet for medical reasons. Hers is literally 65% of her fat in a meal is MCT oil. 4.11 grams is carbohydrates. 9.6 grams is protein. And we use specifically 7 grams of coconut oil. If I go down to 6.5 grams of coconut oil and give a different fat to add up for the half, her ketones will go too low and she'll have seizures. So she's so picky. If I go up to 7.5, her ketones go off the chart and it's like dangerously high.
Even reflection.
Reflection does it.
You know, like how there's that clear roll tape that you use for packing, right?
Oh yeah, reflection off that messes her right up.
Off a tape, clear glass, like in the stores where the food places are, they have those glass
and the lights, right?
The food, and fluorescent lights to it, but most lights are okay. Not all.
You want to show them one of the pictures you were working on yesterday when you were feeling good?
Yeah, she's an artist too, Al.
Hayley's always doing art.
I've been doing this one. I draw this one so many times.
Okay, here.
Me for a second.
I will excuse you. Okay.
So, you remember,
Would you like me to help put it for them to see? Oh, this one first? Okay, hang on.
You know the Princess Jasmine from Aladdin?
Okay. I'm going to help. I don't know if you guys can see this.
Oh, yes.
Yep, there it is.
That's terrific.
Well, slow so the camera can get it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's amazing, Hayley.
And it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard to see a bit, but, and this is the dress.
And this is one of the outfits.
Wow.
It starts all the way from here.
You're drawing this. Oh.
Yep.
Like, yeah, like huge pictures.
That's great.
Oh yeah.
That's great.
Well, yeah, you can see it's all taped together there just to make one large
actually
picture.
Glued. Sometimes
Glued, okay.
I glued.
It's almost 3 pages.
Yeah.
So she needs some big canvas to be sent her way then.
She does. We need huge pieces of paper.
Like that big calendar that we had is like this big.
I bought a desk calendar, so the back of it was plain on all the months, so that she could have a huge piece of paper. She has those big. I was thinking of the boards. Where's a board?
There's one in there.
Oh, here. These size of boards is what Hayley likes to use for drawing. This one's not unwrapped currently, but this, I mean, my God, let's go backwards.
It kind of looks
it's
like
huge.
She
will draw art on that.
It looks like a clipboard, except a really big, just picture a really big fat one.
Hayley wants to do murals and stuff eventually. And she just upgraded her art pencils. So she had been originally using regular coloring pencils. And then I got her wax-based ones. And now she's just started using her oil-based ones. And she loves them because they're so smooth, right?
Yeah.
drawing. Yeah, so she's progressing in her art.
They color more deeper, and it's easier to erase than the other pencil crayons I use.
Right?
Feeling good.
Right.
He's doing awesome. Like I'm
Sure is.
really happy to see that you're just like, wow.
Oh yeah.
I'm happy to see you.
I
I'm just so
know.
happy to see you, Hayley. It's just
Well,
so
last
great.
time-
And yeah.
It was like, I think it was June of 2022. I think it was last time you were on the show, and we were radio at that time, and the oh no, we weren't radio. I don't. But
Yeah.
there was a time when we were on radio and you were on the show, and Hayley was just beginning to be verbal, and Tamara was all excited and stuff, and then
Oh, she had gone through such a rough time last year, right? And right in the summertime with all the seizures and that because of the heat stroke, right? That's our worry is the summer and the heat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's break time, ladies.
Do you have a basement in this place or
No, it's a rancher.
already?
I am liking the
Oh,
fact
you
that
said
it's a
that.
rancher. I don't got to deal with stairs, nothing.
You're awesome. Okay, well, I guess we got to take a little break, girls. So we'll be back in a few minutes. So don't go anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, when we return, Tamara and I will continue our discussion with our guests, Cheryl and Hayley Rose. You're listening to the Pace Radio Show here on the Pace Radio Network. I hit the wrong button. We're good.
You're listening to the
Right
Pace Radio
back.
Network here at paceradio.net.
When you think of the number of unique products developed in the fields, kitchens, and labs at Legacy 420, it's hard to think that one stands out above the rest. But tell that to the thousands of people who have tried this amazing breakthrough product.
This is our Sacred Salve. This is actually our extra strength. It comes in 5 different strengths. It's all natural, all organic. It typically works within 10 to 15 minutes of putting it on. It's good for arthritis, it's good for inflammation, any kind of pain. We're very proud of it.
Sacred Salve, so easy to apply, along with soothing relief. To select a strength that's right for you, come in and talk to your trusted partner. Legacy 420 out on your road.
Pace Radio Network. By patients, for patients, and for those who want to know.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more. We've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Let's share Pace everywhere. That way it can help create peace. People everywhere advocating cannabis education.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Oh, and welcome back. We are ready for round 2. But before we get into some discussion, I think Tamara's got something that she's going to look after here.
Well, I've been waiting since last week to smoke it. No, I guess it's Monday. I think I got here Monday.
Monday.
So my mail
Monday.
arrived on Monday, and I was a good girl, and I saved this to smoke on the show. So I've been sitting here with this joint for 2 days. So you can't get these. You cannot get these in British Columbia. So these are the new Remo Supercharged Joints. They're 2 grams with kief and shatter or extract, I guess, whichever.
Diamond.
And they
Diamond.
amount to about 8 grams in total. Now, Owl's already had one, and he, gave it a review. And so, but I can't get this in BC. So my dear friend Al here went to the store in his local town and bought one for me and sent it to me.
Yeah.
So it arrived Monday.
Yeah.
And I haven't touched it. Well, I can't say I didn't touch it. I opened it and I smelled it. And for me,
that's just a tease.
Okay, so now I'm going to reveal it because I've now even done smelling it, and I'm going to spark this lady up. So this is the Remo's Supercharged DB.
Oh, nice.
And it's a party joint. Okay, this thing's freaking huge. Like, no, here's my lighter. This is the joint.
Oh, nice.
Okay, and this so we'll go from the joint because I won't put the filter in, even without the filter.
I
noticed
the joint starts from small and then gets a little bit bigger while
well, that's the filter and Hayley, right? And then it goes into a cone shape. But Remo and Sandra are very good friends of mine, as well as cannabis activists and advocates, and have been for decades. And they own Remo's Nutrients. Well, now they've got themselves into
we had them on last
medical licensing. We had them on our show last week, so they can actually help medical patients. Like medical patients can go to them, and they have a license to sell medical. And they also have an R&D license. So what they're doing is they're buying flower from small growers and then producing this and then putting it on the market. But the only place you can get them right now is Ontario. So if you want these in your local stores, phone your LBD and demand that you get them.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
the growers aren't getting paid.
So I did.
The farmers aren't getting paid. And so here I am. I'm gonna.
So to give you, Cheryl, a bit of an idea on this, I went around to 3 stores in my area, and I asked them about these joints because I knew that they were available at the OCS. And the first one said they, look into it, and then 2 weeks later they decided not to buy them because they didn't think that they could sell 2-gram joints in that store. So I went to another store, and
products, right?
I went to a third store, and the guy offered to order them in for me when I told him about Remo.
Nice.
And he got them in, and he sold them all.
Right?
So
that's the best part of the whole story, because you have to order so many of them. You can't just order 1 or 2. You have to order 20 of them. And the guy was, okay, I'll get them. And when I went to get these ones, there was only 2 left.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. So I got one.
Get sold.
Yeah, that's good.
So they got sold. Shout out to Spirit Leaf in Campbellford for going out of their way to do this. We've got their joints across the country now, and he's got more in. He sent actually posted a message on a thread that we were talking on earlier. That
you can tell there's kief in it because it burns kind of funky. So you have to kind of turn it. Well, because you can see the resin, see the resin coming off that thing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Right?
Is it strong?
You can see the shine on it.
Yeah,
you see it glistening.
Yeah. See that?
Is it strong?
It is strong, Hayley. It's really strong, and it's actually really it's nice and tasty.
Oh, nice.
I'm not gonna be able to smoke this thing by myself. I will, but it'll take me 3 days to do it. Right? Like I'll smoke a little bit, I'll put it out. It'll take me 3 days.
The other joints I know about that were smoked, both times it was smoked with 2 people, and it was put out part way and then lit again later. So if Tamara smokes this all by herself tonight, it'll be the first time that I know of one of these. I'm sure there's maybe others, but that I'm seeing smoke the whole joint.
Okay, well, maybe I'll give it an attempt. We'll see. We'll see what the show brings. I'll just sit here and puff on it.
She falls over.
If I was just gonna say, if I fall over, take over for me, because I might fall asleep halfway through. I mean, I did work 8 hours and I did pack, a few big bags of dog food around today. This might just knock me on my butt. Because I'm not smoking any weed during the day anymore either, right?
Oh, yeah.
I go to work, I'm at work all day, I don't smoke anything, and then I come home. And I did smoke one little doobie before the show because I was like, I had just gotten home from work. I needed to smoke a doobie.
Yeah, it sounds like
so we'll see.
Helping for you. Sounds like it's really helping for you.
Yeah, and like my back sore. So yeah, this is kind of being very helpful. Very helpful. It's easing my pain in my back.
Well, you were talking at the beginning of the show about the fact that you're lifting all these bags of dog food.
Yeah.
Wow. What do you think? Is a bit of quite a bit of smoke coming off of that, eh?
Yeah, it's nice and gray though.
Nice.
Oh, I know. Yeah. You can see
the gray
in it.
Remo's not growing them. Remo's not growing the flower, but the people that are growing the flower are using Remo's nutrients.
Excellent.
That must be why it's so helps you and so strong and so big.
Yeah.
And good medicine.
It's good medicine, Hayley. Yeah, it's absolutely good medicine. But I hate to say this, and I've said this a number of times because we were also against legalization, right? But legalization has made it so that everybody's got access, whether we like it or not. Everybody can go into a store. And I hate to say this, I just bought an ounce at the store for less than $100. It was $66.99, and I paid $72 with taxes in, and it was an ounce a pot. And it's indica, and there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's not AAA bud. It's not, indica, or it's not like, OG Daddy Kush or whatever, But again, for $66,
that's good.
Somebody's getting access, right?
Not bad.
I mean, you pay Broken Coast $200 for an ounce still.
And I hate admitting if it's not bad. When it comes to
this doobie is a legal doobie. This doobie was bought through a legal entity. Like, this is a legal joint.
Nice.
This was bought through a legal store. And that's the thing, you can't, how can you, and again, how many people are not getting arrested on a daily basis for pot?
I love that part. That's
the best part about this. I can I left the cannabis store the other day. There's a cop standing at the end of the, right over across the block. I jumped in my car. She watched me walk from the cannabis store to my car, jump in the car, and I drove away. She didn't do nothing because if I leave the cannabis store, it's sealed. If it's sealed, it's like having, they didn't do nothing and they don't care. They're not pulling people over because they see them leave the cannabis store. Oh, we know they got pot. They don't have it stored right. I'm going to pull them over.
Now than they were before.
Yeah, because they legalized
Did you put your skunk in the trunk?
Nope.
Are you supposed to?
You're supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
like the liquor. You're supposed to have liquor too.
It's like
you're not supposed to put your 6-pack beside you on your front seat either.
Yeah,
you can't do that either. People do it all the time.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So cannabis.
The cannabis laws are the same as liquor control. Like it's the same with liquor. Like you're not supposed to go to a liquor store and not put it in your trunk either. People do. They drive around and with a beer between their legs too. Like don't tell me that they don't because I know they fucking do.
Yeah, but just even though it's unopened, it's accessible to the driver. So.
Yeah, that's
that cop watched me leave that cop stood there and was an RCMP. She stood there, watched me leave the cannabis store. She watched me jump in the front seat of my car. She saw the bag in my hand. It wasn't like I had it hidden. And I drove away. She didn't do nothing.
Nice. It's so weird, eh? Like from before.
I'm glad it's gotten much. I'm glad they're starting to understand much better than they did before.
We've got it legal now, Hayley.
Yes.
So now that it's legal, now that it's legal, Hayley, there's stores you go into and buy, not like a dispensary like before, but they're legal, and you can actually mail 30 grams in the mail now. And I got busted for that. I did 6 months house arrest for mailing 4 grams. Well, now you can legally mail out 30 grams.
Exactly.
So some of us had to take the fall for these laws to change, but they changed.
Exactly.
Right?
Unfortunately, that's
that's what, like I said, legalization has changed so much. And like I said, even like if you don't like it, whatever, but patients have access. If there's a store, they can't talk about medical. It's not medical. They can't go in and ask questions, but they can Google the information, or they can ask, or they can watch our shows, or they can get the information elsewhere. And then they can go into a legal store and ask for that strain. So, as long that they've got access, patients have access. It's not the dosage that they would like it to be for edibles and stuff, but that's also apparently changing too. Because I saw somebody else, Owen Smith, the other night, had bought cannabis lozenges in BC that were 250 milligrams.
nice.
And he bought them at the legal store.
Okay, well, I want to check that out because when I go and order if I order offline through an LP, it is expensive. Very for the oils that I'm buying, right? They can be quite expensive.
Oh yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah,
that's another problem.
Yeah, that's what
that's a thing. Like,
it's a Kaylee Nick said too.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And they're taking away the discount. They're not giving any compassionate discounting anymore. And their medication has gone up to almost $800 a month. And she's only like on 3.5 grams, I think, a day. So Hayley's prescription is quite a bit larger than that. So I can't imagine what it's costing you. But again, like I said, I think that, you know what I think. I think everybody should produce their own if they can.
Yeah.
But
I think at some point it will change, and then more people will people that don't understand. I think
they'll get it.
They'll get it slowly by going step by step as they keep on learning. So maybe even that can.
What do you think? Hey, Hayley, what do you think we need to do to get the government to stop charging medical patients and put it just like if you're getting it from an LP or you have to purchase it? Why can't we get it like all your other medications? When do you think what do you think we need to do to make them listen and change that? Because they're stopping.
I'm thinking somebody needs to show them that
how well it works,
how much it helps people, and how important this means to everyone who needs it, even people that just use it anyway. I think if somebody just shows them, just stands up and shows him, maybe he can see what we see.
Yeah, I think
you know what, Hayley? I think you're the best spokesperson for us.
Oh,
I think you should get you a meeting with I think we should get you a meeting with the health minister, because I think you're the best spokesman. You're, like I said, you're a miracle, and you are you should be our spokesperson to show them exactly what they need to do. I don't think we need to show anybody. We think we should have you do it. Not that we're not saying that you should do it, but you are the best spokesperson. Maybe we should put you on a video, and maybe we should send that video straight to them.
I wouldn't mind.
Well, there we go. There's a project.
There we go.
Right? I think that's a great idea. I think that we should get Hayley on video, and I think we should bombard everybody with it.
I think so. Because what's happening, Hayley, is the big companies, so they used to have a discount. So like instead of something
I'm halfway and I'm putting it out.
$100, it might cost a parent $80 to buy the medicine for their children. So they had these discounts for kids, but a lot of places are stopping it. And now the medicine for these children can get very expensive. And I don't think that any patient should have to pay for it.
I don't think it should just be about the children either.
No, it should be about everybody.
Anybody who has pharmacy, who has pharmacy benefits coverage, the pharmacy should be being paid the same way that they do for my hydromorphone, my methotrexate. The insurance company should be covering it. If you have pharmacare or whatever you have, and now the government's talking about pharmacare. It was announced today that they're going to come with that.
Yeah, how to.
We want, okay, you know how this is covered by your
Yeah.
medical, all your pills?
Mhm.
We want the cannabis covered for all patients.
Then show them when you do that video, we can show him how much not just adults need it, younger childs can have it too.
Everybody.
And it doesn't matter the age or the height. It just matters if you that to make sure you get your medicine that you need to help them. So they, instead of not helping them, help them and get them more better,
Yeah,
and healthier.
and not make them, like, what if you can't pay for the medicine? You should still get medicine, right? Nobody should have to pay
And you shouldn't.
those crazy amounts.
You would. I'd even say that people who don't have money or enough to buy them shouldn't go without them. They should go. They should have the same right as the other people are getting.
Yeah, we think so too.
You're absolutely right, Hayley. And that's the thing. Like I said, every benefit, every pharmacare, anybody that's low income that's on services that get their pharmacy medical paid for, cannabis should be the same. And I know the soldiers have done it. Like the veterans and the soldiers have a way that they're covered. So there's got to be a way that it's done because the government's already doing it for the veterans and the soldiers. So I don't understand why if they can do it for the veterans, why they can't do it for everybody else.
And that's
Well,
what needs to be done.
Well,
even if they're only covering a certain amount.
They're already complaining about the amount of money they spend on the veterans cannabis.
That's why they changed it. That's why they had that study, right? Remember they had the study, and that's when the recommended dosage came out from Health Canada as 3 to 5 grams, because it was all about money. It was about what the government was paying for the veterans on their medical cannabis, and they found out they were paying billions of dollars a year on cannabis for veterans, and they said we're not doing that anymore. So then they had some study done, and that's when the 3 to 5 grams came up. And then even with the new medical licensing and the ACMPR came out, doctors were recommended not to prescribe any more than 5 grams maximum. So a lot of people that were above 5 grams some of them got cut. I'm hearing it more and more that the doctors aren't signing for that anymore.
If you want to show him that, I think you have to first do all the other stuff I said, like show him that how much it helps people and how much people need it, and that money isn't always the right thing, the right path to go to help you get better. The thing that helps you most is doing this, then getting discounted or anything like that. Once you explain to him and show him how much it helps people and people who don't have money or don't have enough, and the ages.
I don't think age should matter.
Yeah, and saying that age or height or doesn't matter how old or how young, that money isn't the thing that saves you or helps you. Yes, it can help with some things, but it's not the most important thing you need. The most important thing you need is to help his people that he's in charge of.
So you're talking about like Justin right now.
To tell him that it's okay. It's more better to do it that way than to just stop them from what they're doing, and it will help more than money because money isn't always the answer that can help you and save you.
That's right.
That's true. That's very true.
Very true.
The right
Yeah.
thing to do is to keep on following the path that everybody else is going. Because once you follow them, the path will get bigger and the longer it gets and the bigger it goes, the more it comes of people getting healthier.
True.
Yeah.
If you
And
keep
help people
You're right.
more.
Yep. You know, that's as
Right.
they say, the more people who speak up, the more people who talk about the benefits of medical cannabis, the bigger the voice gets, the bigger the ball goes, and
that's
everything
exactly it.
gets-
Like,
And
Yeah.
at some
voice
point,
will get
once we
louder.
have the big line, there'll be a leader to lead them for the right path
to get them to give the medicine.
to keep on going to help people or get them better or people who need it the most, no matter what you
They
have.
get it, right?
As
No
long
matter
as
what.
as long as once you get a leader, then the leader would help.
So you think
that's when you continue. That's when they will continue on following your footsteps.
so you think that they need somebody to talk for them and say, hey, to the government.
Somebody needs to stand up to them and explain to them all this and show him this at once. Like
You
for
should.
for the first time, somebody needs to go up there, show him how much it helps people,
you did.
and show
And not
him
charge them, right?
and show him that you don't have to be.
You did though.
You have to
We-
be
we-
any age. The age and height
We
doesn't
did.
matter.
We
You
did.
did.
Because
We did. You were there.
You were
You
there.
were there.
Yeah.
We did. We protested. You were there.
We did that.
I mean, you're our best spokesperson, honey. Like
But-
we were there. I know you. We were there. We were protesting on Parliament Hill. You were there.
You were
You
there.
know,
Remember when we took the plane?
Yeah.
you were there, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were.
But
So we
All
did.
right, ladies.
not charge people
Time
would
for-
be, to have it covered under the medical programs, like our different fair care, pharmacare, whatever, whatever your medical insurance is really where it has to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Before we go to break, first, during the break, Cheryl, can we just get you to turn your camera a little bit? Because sometimes we get part of your face. There we go.
Am I okay?
Yeah,
And
Hang on,
when
maybe
we get
I
back
can
from the-
move this so that I got Hayley and me. Would that
Yeah.
help?
There you go.
Sort of.
Yeah,
Right.
you're good.
Okay. Yay. Okay.
Getting you a little better there.
Oh God, I'm out.
And when we
There
get
we
back
go.
from the break,
Okay.
we've got a question from a viewer. So when we get back from the break, we'll get into that question. All righty.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good. All right. You're watching the Pace Radio Show. We're live here on the Pace Radio Network and on cbgtv.com. We'll see you in exactly 2 minutes and 59 seconds.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more. We've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Pace Radio is the people advocating cannabis education radio network.
Are you watching television on Roku, Fire, maybe an Apple TV or even Chromecast? If you are, then download the Boxcast app and search for CBG TV.
CBG TV broadcasting to a worldwide audience. Find us at cbgtv.com. You're watching the Cannabis Broadcasting Group here at cbgtv.com.
Did you know that the Pace Radio Network isn't just a radio network? That's right, because most, but not all of our programming is now done via video and is then podcasted at paceradio.net. So if you want to watch our programming, you'll find us on the Pace Radio Network's Facebook page, plus the show's own page, and you'll find us live on the network's YouTube channel. And don't forget, you can find it all, video and audio, at paceradio.net.
Legacy 420 have an awesome array of cannabis-infused beverages, from pop to Nature's Nectar's teas, all in amazing flavors. What a selection! We even have a delicious mango-infused juice, and let me tell you, it's delicious.
Everything is infused in-house, so we buy our syrup from, the same place where everybody else buys their syrup for their pop, and the infusion is done in the lab. It's all canned here, labeled here, produced 100% on Tynanega.
We have 2 lines of drinks. One's called our Nature's Nectar. That was our original line that we came out with. And then we also have a line under the Red E brand. We have them in 10 milligrams, 30 milligram, and 60 milligram cans.
What a great selection for a get-together with friends or after a long day. Remember, if you want to wet your whistle with on-site lab-tested products, come see your trusted partner. Legacy 420 out on your road.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Hey, we're back for the 3rd segment. How's that joint going, Tamara?
Oh, I put it out.
How far did you get? Did you get pretty far?
I put it out. It's about halfway. I got about halfway. Yeah, no, I'm good. No, I had to put it out. I haven't had, I'm good. I'll save it. I'll probably smoke, but I probably will smoke it all today by myself. I'll probably smoke the rest up before I go to bed. I probably will. Yeah. So it's nice. It's, like I said, I got a nice, but like I said, I'm a bit sore, so it's taken that bit of, the edge off of that. And I got a heating pad across my knees because I'm freezing to death. I'm thinking, God, I hope I'm not getting sick, because I don't want to get sick. But we have blockers at work. Like, even working in the public, we've got this plexiglass. Yeah. So, anyways, we'll get back to. We have a question from a viewer.
That's right. First, we got a comment, followed by a question. First, the comment is from Green Irene. She says, "Thank you for sharing your story."
Thank
you. I have to agree with that, because
thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
When people share their stories, they educate other people. Now the question.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. And the question from Green Irene, she asks, Hayley, do you have a daily regime for cannabis consumption, or a routine that helps you, that may help others in your position?
Okay, so do you want me to show them? Do you want me to get your droppers?
Yeah.
Okay. 1 second.
What is
not a problem.
routine?
So your routine for your cannabis medicine is what they would like to know.
Yeah, I got a routine for my medicine.
So this is, can you see it? There we go. Hayley takes, these are droppers that we've made out of her Hayley's Comet into a high concentrate oil with a food grade alcohol extract. So then I've turned it into basically a full extract cannabis oil, thick. And then
you're making
I dilute it to 100 milligrams per mil of CBD and THC, because hers is a 1-to-1, so it's 100 milligrams of each per mil. And then Hayley is taking 0.5, so half of that 3 times a day currently. She actually is going back up in her dose. We had a bit of issue with supply at one point, so we're just kind of building it back up. And right now she's doing about 150 milligrams of it. Now, it took a while to get to that, and we're still going up, because technically she is supposed to be taking 300 and approximately 350 milligrams per day, 300 to 300. So it'd be like a full mil of this every 3 times a day is what
3
she
times
will.
a
But
day.
right now she's at half, which is working okay. And then, do you want to show them this? This is Hayley's vaporizer. Oh, there's the camera.
The other way, yeah, right there.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And she's got her Hayley's Comet flower in it. And
Nice.
so, do you want to tell them when you use your vaporizer?
I use my vaporizer when I'm feeling weird, off, or gonna go into a seizure or having a seizure. And it does it for 3 minutes. On the bottom, it would say 3 minutes. The top would count down for you 1 minute each time. So then it would continue again. You press the button 5 times really fast, and it
turn
will
it on
turn it on again to start it up. If you want some more, you have to press the button 5 times. If you want to
No, it's twice actually.
No, twice and 5 times to turn it off.
Can I show them? Here. Okay. So this is, I don't even know what brand this is. Sorry.
I see the brand.
It says Hit on it, but I don't know.
Hit brand.
Yeah.
The brand is a Hit.
It's I think a Yukon or Yukon or
You can, yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
You can. Yep. I got one of those too. Yep.
the Bud one.
Yeah.
And
We
so
we had a shadow.
this one, I mean, when you turn it on, it's got a 3-minute setting. So we fill it up, the chamber, with her Bud. It goes for 3 minutes. So that, like, once it's heated, it'll go 3 minutes and then it'll buzz that it's done. We actually give it to her 3 times. So then we'll start it and get it heated back up, and she'll vaporize from this the full for a total of like 9 minutes with it.
Okay.
And then if she needs more, we'll just refill it and give her more. And she uses it, like she said, before, if she's feeling off at all. If her ketones are low, we will also give it as a precautionary measure. If she's having a reflex seizure or that type of seizure where she can still kind of do stuff, then she will use this. And also for after a seizure, for seizure recovery, it speeds up seizure recovery. And there is one more thing that we give, which is never fun, but hey, we give a cannabis nasal spray, right? This one, not
Right.
exactly the favorite one.
You can put it. It works when you put it in your nose, and it works when you put it in your mouth.
Yeah, so if you needed it buccally, you just can squirt it in your mouth if you want. But because we have this one for her oral meds, and then this one is for nasal. So if she has a seizure where she's not able to respond to us or respond to be able to vape, because vape is the fastest, so then we will use this one. And let me tell you, it can be a real lifesaver. So those are the
That's
three.
what I've seen. I've seen you post.
Pardon?
I've seen you post online. Like, this wasn't yesterday, but a while ways back, about the importance of that spray to her.
Oh yeah.
And I think at one point you were running like low on it, or there was a concern or something.
We were for a little bit. We were able to get some more. This spray. Okay, so Hayley also has midazolam as a rescue drug when the cannabis as rescue drugs doesn't work. If it's not enough, and that happens, so usually that's more of a reflex seizure thing, because those things do not like to stop. But so if she has a seizure and she can't respond, I'm stuck. Either if I don't have this, I have to give them midazolam. And that's great and all, except as her neurologists have said, they don't want us to use the midazolam unless there is absolutely no choice, because she can only have 2 doses in 6 hours. because if she has more, she has other medications, and it can suppress breathing. So they don't want to use it unless we have to. And another big problem with it is that with the midazolam, if the more you use it, the less it'll work, and they don't have many options that Hayley can actually have as backup. That's our backup, and so we don't really, they don't want to have to go, oh no, we have to give her something else. That is definitely not where they're aiming for, because we've run through different drugs multiple times throughout her life to try them just to see if maybe it's going to work, right? So this is a huge lifesaver, because this can mean stopping a seizure and not having to use the midazolam. So it's a big one.
Now you mentioned you made the oil. Like, do you make this spray?
Okay, so originally, Dr. Hornby created this for Hayley because I was freaking out, because I was like, Paul, I can't, she can't vape. What am I going to do? I'm like inhaling it into my mouth and blowing it in her face. Like, there's got to be a better method, right? It's not working well here. And so he came up with this for Hayley. And actually, Legacy 420 does make these. I know that for sure.
Really? Well, did you notice we run an ad for them here?
Yes. Yeah. Well, they're great. They Legacy 420 and Dr. Paul Hornby actually are the ones who created the nasal spray originally.
Good.
And
I met Dr. Paul there. Met Mr. Hornby down there. Yeah.
I miss him so much, man.
Good man.
He was awesome. Since then, I mean, over the years, right? I now do the concentration for it, or other people will help make it. With Hayley's condition, and with the diet and everything, there's a lot involved. So I used to do a lot more of the prepping, and we used to do a lot more growing and a lot more, preparing everything and that. Less now. I do have people that are very kindly and very generously helped to make meds, produce meds in order to help supplement with everything. And guess what? You can't get that with an LP. I am sorry, but you can't, and I had to say it. So
no, that's true. That is totally true. Yeah. That's not denying that one. Absolutely not.
Okay.
It's a
message from Green Irene. She says thank you.
Do you see? See it right there on the screen?
Yeah. Tell her I say you're welcome.
She heard you.
She heard you, Hayley. She heard you.
Yeah.
I'm glad I can help.
But yeah, you're right. And and it's unfortunate that the LPs still don't have it right. A lot of them, the micro growers, right?
They're way better than they used to be, but
they are. But here's what I found out the other day too. The micro growers aren't allowed to sell directly. Like they have to have the LBODs okay in the stores. So they're not getting their end, and that's unfortunate, because the micro crafters are the ones that actually, the legacy growers are there. They are in the industry. They are there. The clones are being produced. It's just, like I said, I can't get one of Remo's joints in British Columbia.
I know, right?
They're in British Columbia. No, the BCLBD turned them down, apparently. Told them no.
Why?
I don't know.
I
don't know all the details, but they didn't get us all the details, but the Ontario did. Ontario took them, so that's where they're at right now.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess we'll all be ordering from Ontario. So.
Well, they ship to BC.
Yeah, when I couldn't find one, Sandra offered. She's maybe I can find someone in Ontario or whatever that can find one and send it to you, because she didn't have access to them out there to even send me one.
No.
So,
and I asked my local store, and he said I can't get them.
Wow.
He goes, but you have
No,
to
no.
you have to bug the LBD yourself. And I'm like, what am I going to do? He goes, phone them and tell them that you want them to bring into the LBD. I'm like, okay.
I'm getting people across the country wanting me to sending them to me.
Yeah, like if you got people,
Driving
like I
all the
said,
way to Ontario.
yeah, you're giving
Oh my
Ontario
gosh.
money though. But that's the
Is
thing.
there?
Like, if the BC government thinks that the Ontario government's getting more money than them, then they'll let it in.
Yeah. They'll be like, oh.
What do you mean we're losing money
It
to
could be.
Ontario? Come on.
Maybe they have that concern, the same concern as that business had that I talked to, and they were worried they couldn't sell 2-gram joints in British Columbia. Nah, you wouldn't think so. You could sell tons of them there.
You know, the funniest shit I ever hear is, I'm at work today and, I said something about something and the woman looks at me, she goes, well, I know all about it. I'm from Nelson, I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? You're from Nelson. But
Well,
Nelson's the only pot growing fucking town in all of Canada? Like, what? Like, you're from Nelson. Good for you. Like, there's more places in Nelson that grow pot. Where have you been for the last 20 years? Anyway. I was just shook my head. I'm just like, what?
So SkyTrain was good today. Is there any, and that was a test, is there any other tests that you're looking at trying and
Watching Sailor
succeeding
Man.
at?
Japanese anime tonight.
Well, just Japanese animated always was the thing that caused seizures in the first place.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you haven't watched one for a while?
Out of it, everything.
You were talking earlier about them, you're doing your tests, and you always seem to have a seizure the day after your tests. Why don't you take a phone in with your animated stuff when you're doing your test, and you can watch it on your phone
right now.
Oh, right.
This is all wires. They're recording for 3 solid days. So tomorrow the wires come off.
Obviously, SpongeBob doesn't set anything off.
No. So we're gonna watch a movie.
No.
We're gonna watch a Japanese anime and see probably a Sailor Moon and see where and
this is.
Okay, so what happened? Okay, so if you watch the show, and she does seize, where are you at? Like, what will happen? Will you have to like?
They will get more information, where it's coming from in the brain, and they would get to know what triggers it and what's happening and why is it doing it and what causes it.
And we'll be able to give them feedback like this part of the show was what triggered her, but the rest wasn't. So we're looking at how, with her ketones, where they're at, high ketones, where, like, how much control is. Because when her ketones are higher, she's less susceptible to the seizures and the reflex seizures and environmental triggers. So we want to see what is that level at. Where does that level break from being seizure free, and that's going to be seizures? Are we looking at if we can keep the stability? Are we looking at gaining abilities back? And we're all
things I haven't seen, like shows I haven't watched, or things
to do.
That cause triggers now for seizures. See if there's a way to help. So when I'm doing those stuff, it wouldn't cause a seizure, and then I know that I can go back to doing these things or watching these things, and I know what parts to not do. Of the parts, the ones that cause the seizure to start or react.
Yeah. So,
if
the ketones are high and we are able to keep them high and the glucose stable, which is the hardest part, is making sure those two stay in that range and other factors aren't changing them, which there's always going to be factors, so you got to kind of work around that. And she may be able to, like, okay, we can do the SkyTrain. Okay, when she's like this, I didn't have her door fully shut, and I turned on the water in the living room, and she did not seize. But if her ketones were lower, she would have to wear if they were low, she would have to wear headphones. I'd have to have the door shut, and then I could run the water, right? So we're looking at quality of life, ability to do more things again.
Sometimes there's sometimes the water, it affects me.
Yeah.
One is when you put it on too high.
Yeah.
And one is when you use it at a low amount.
Really, the low one and then the high
so
one.
You know how you first turn it on and it's very low, right?
Yes.
And it's still doing it, but it's on full blast.
Okay.
As long as it's low, I can't hear it at all with the door.
Okay.
If it goes on to full blast, then I can hear it and it sounds like rain again.
So we gotta be careful. Yeah. So that's what we're monitoring right now and seeing how much abilities are we able to do. What do we have to do when her ketones are that high and where there should be? What do we have to do to make her seize? Like where is that threshold at?
Yeah.
Is what we're looking at.
Where's that
which
line
is
that
amazing
says-
to get to do.
We got a question from Irene.
Pardon?
Pardon?
We got another question from Irene. There we go.
Okay.
Question is, are you able to zone out and do something like a 1 or 3 minute meditation self-hypnosis to help alleviate seizures? So
okay, so you do meditation.
I do meditation, but sometimes it would help, like, once you do the meditation, right, and your meditation time is up, it sometimes can stop and make it go down, but you're still having seizures, like sight ones that I have.
Well,
seizures.
Can I help explain the question a little bit?
I'm saying, like, sight ones, I can get my vision back, but still be in a seizure. So it does help, but not as much as this or this or this. It doesn't help. So that would be like 2% of helping you.
So she's used it when she's felt off, and felt like an aura or a zone or whatever. She's used meditation to help to relax, with her breathing, try to refocus. It does, but as she said, it's like a 2% thing. However, saying that, doing meditation aside from that overall helps with her sleep, helps with if she is more amped up, because she'll get lots of energy and she'll get like wired from seizure activity if the ketones are low. So it will help with calming it. It's not enough alone. Oh God, sorry. It is not enough. I'll call them back. It's not enough alone, but it does help overall, and also, of course, health, well-being, and everything. So Hayley does do meditation. Just it works better in conjunction with other stuff rather than being able to just zone out,
but
to get out of that.
But still, it's just 2% helping you. It's not helping you as much as the medicine does, or these, or this.
I love how you're showing it every time.
Or this. It's not like that, or how people smoke different cannabis, right? Cannabis would be much more better to help you than meditation by, I'd say, 2% for the meditation and 98% of helping you with with different medicines.
Yeah.
With the it's all part, it'll all be part of the block that puts the wall together. It's a piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, it's right? Part of it.
Yeah.
It goes in there, but
exactly.
We don't depend on it.
Yep, it's like every break on somewhere, but you gotta make sure you connect it with the other stuff too.
Yeah.
Right.
Spots.
All right, ladies. We're at the bottom of the hour. One last thing. Do you know of a Deepak Chopra?
I have heard of him.
Okay. The suggestion for Irene is to look him up and see if he can develop her skills any. But
I will. I've heard a lot of good stuff about them, and that. Yeah, you'll like it. I promise you will like his stuff, Hayley.
Yeah.
And I can read better too.
Yes, you reading's better. Everything is better.
That's good. Yeah. That's amazing.
Have you seen her talk this much before?
No, not for years.
Yeah,
and then it was like, I'm happy. I'm glad. I'm just wow. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's really good to see you, honey. You look good. I love your hair. I love that Sailor Moon costume too. And you better send me some art. So I'd like to buy some of your art. So I'd like to take a look at some of your pictures because we need to get you some big boards and get some paper out to you. So I'm not sure I can help with that. Yep.
I mostly draw like animated or cartoon characters, or make.
You can draw me whatever you want. You can draw me whatever you want. Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. I'll get a hold of your mom like right after the show. We'll talk about it.
Okay. You just
right. Okay.
I will.
Shout out as we wrap up things here. Shout out person, place, a thing, websites, anything like that. Anything you want to promote before we say goodbye? No.
Just want to tell them that I'm glad I can help them more.
Right.
That's right. And
just
sharing
your message out, Hayley. We got to get your message out and sharing your story. And the more people that hear your story, the more hope people will have. And we have to get it to the right people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Tamara, you got anything you want to say before we leave?
Thanks to both of you for being on the show. It was great to see
you guys for having us. I am so thrilled that we got to come on.
Yeah, I'm really happy to have you. Other than that, no, I'm just shout out to our guests because I'm really happy that they could make it on, and it's great to see Hayley doing so well.
I agree.
All right. Thanks. Tamara and I will be back next week.
To our
What's that?
And to our sponsors, of course.
That's right. Yeah, that's where I always go. That's where I finish off. A shout out to our sponsors. Thanks to Legacy420.com and to the Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. Big thank you to our guests, Cheryl and Hayley Rose. What can I say? Wow. Other than just keep saying wow. It's good. I wasn't involved back in those days when Tamara was, and I know she could obviously see it being a huge thing. But from what I've heard and seen over the years and photos and read stories, and then to sit here and see her and be involved completely in the conversation through the whole thing and educating people just blows my mind.
Well, that's a mystery. You find the pieces while you keep on going.
That's right. Exactly.
And each piece, as you keep on going, it's going to be a mystery, but you will find out what it means once you find all the pieces.
Yeah, you're finding them. All right. Thank you to everybody for watching. And don't forget to tune in again next week. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own, and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.